Hey everyone, Daniel here with Slow Haste, where we talk about electronic music, synth hardware, and the creative process. In today's video, I want to talk to you about how I have integrated the Digitone into my Digitakt workflow. I got the Digitone last week, and so far it has been a marvelous addition to my setup. Definitely want to do a bit of cable management and studio cleanup. If you have any stands that you would recommend that can fit both of these devices, definitely let me know down in the comments. I'm looking to get something to tidy up this a little bit. So first, I'm just going to really quickly go over how I synced the two devices. If you already know or don't care about that, I will put chapter markers below so you can skip ahead to the tutorial of the beat that I made. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to route the audio from the Digitakt into the Digitone. So you're going to take the left and the right output and throw it to the left and right input of the Digitone. And then you're going to take a 5-pin MIDI cable from the MIDI output of the Digitakt into the MIDI input of the Digitone. And then obviously you need some output for your audio from the Digitone. And I just run that into my 1010 Blue Box mixer off screen, and then that goes into my audio interface. So the next thing you're gonna do is go into the settings of the Digitakt, into MIDI configuration. You wanna go into the sync settings, and you wanna make everything, you wanna check all the boxes for send. So clock send, transport send, and program change send. That's all you do. You check the boxes by hitting yes. And then you want to go into port configuration. And I don't know if this matters, but by default, the output to is MIDI/USB. I just put it to MIDI. I don't know if it makes a difference, but there you have it. So then you're going to go through the same steps on the Digitone, but the opposite. So go into MIDI configuration, sync, and then you're going to want everything to be received. So clock, transport, and program change. And that's really all it is. Something weird that I noticed when I first set it up, and it seems to have stabilized itself like over a few hours of messing around with patterns, but when I set the tempo on the Digitakt, the Digitone's tempo would like waver between 0.1 of a BPM on either side of the beat. And it would like, I don't know, there wasn't an audible difference, but it took a bit for the actual like brains of the machines to sync together fully, but it hasn't been an issue since. And even when it was, it didn't really actually make a difference in audio quality. So maybe you'll see that happen in this video. But again, I don't think it's anything to worry about. Okay, so let's get into the beat tutorial. I posted a video earlier this week of a song, and I'm not going to play the whole jam for you right now because I don't want to be redundant. You can go ahead and check that out. It's at the link in my description, but I'll play for you like the sort of the climax, the main buildup of the chord progression, and then I'll kind of explain to you how I arranged and composed the song between the two devices. So here it is. Okay, so that's sort of like the climax that the whole track builds to. And I'm just gonna, I guess, go through the sequence of the song, how it starts. So I'm gonna start off with the Digitakt and play you this marvelous piano sample. So you can see I chopped this piano sample up a little bit. This comes from the Blank Forms Tape Haze 3 or 4 pack. I can never remember which one it is. I can't beat it over the head more than I already have. I use these sample packs all the time. They're really great, and they're fun to use like the full samples to kind of like build a beat around, and they're also super fun to like chop up the melodies that Blank Forms has included. So this one I kind of just implemented the piano samples in a pretty straightforward fashion, and I thought this melancholy sound was a pretty good intro to the song. So the next thing I do in the song is I go to the first pattern and I change the piano sample. So there are two samples that kind of run concurrently when the pattern kind of builds to the climax, but I just put in a kick drum of 4 on the floor with this other piano sample. That's more like chordal and suggestive of a sort of like a bass melody. And I like to have that sort of calm intro that fades into the main beat and then reintroduce the chords that are used in the intro as kind of like a thematic theme or a motif. And then I just bring in the rest of the beat. And when I bring in the snare, it suggests like a 3/4 kind of pattern. So it's very straightforward. There's nothing complicated about this beat. But it's kind of uncertain and can take you a second to get your bearings. So that's all the first beat is in the Digitakt. And for the Digitone, I sequenced a melody, an arpeggio, and a bass synth. So I'm going to show you those right now. So I think this pad is kind of the star of the show, and I made this one from scratch. And I built the foundations from a tutorial by Ivar Tirti. I believe I'm saying his name correctly. But he has this great tutorial on lead and pad sounds that he posted, and it's super useful in getting these really like melancholy, non-FM synth-like sounds. And that's actually kind of what drew me to the Digitone in the first place, was, you know, the integrative capabilities with the Digitakt, but also the fact that you can get these really like, I don't know, fuzzy, warm, distant sounds out of it. I kind of prefer that over that traditional, stereotypical cold metallic FM sound. So yeah, you know, a little bit of filtering on that sound, lots of effects. It's very spacey and spacious. So now I want to show you the bass line. And I'll play that with the main piano part so you can see how it really contextualizes everything. And like these three components are the essence of the song. It's the texture and the melody of these three synth sounds and samples are suggestive of the whole theme of the song, right? And that bass synth is from a preset on the Digitone, and I just tweaked the parameters a little bit, you know, played with the filter, cranked the overdrive, as you can see. But there's really quite a bit that is offered on the Digitone as presets that you can easily tweak to customize to your needs. So let's listen to all these parts together. Right? There's that main groove. And then I threw arpeggio on track 3 of the Digitone. I also realized you can control the mutes on the Digitone with the Digitakt using the MIDI channels. I haven't set that up yet. I want to do that. But at the same time, the Digitone is new to me, and I like being able to touch it, to interact with the box. You know, that's kind of important to me. And that's what I like about hardware, is that interactivity. So it's nice being able to just like use and play both devices. Although using the Digitakt as like a central brain for a live performance would definitely be the way to go, just to minimize any potential errors, in my opinion. Anyway, so after that main pattern, it transitions into a second pattern where I basically just pull the beat back a little bit and change the chord progression. So I'll let you listen to the transition from pattern 1 to pattern 2, and then I will show you some of the differences. Okay, so let us take a listen to how the Digitakt changes. So I added back in that piano sample from the initial introductory pattern that I had on pattern 3. So you can hear that with that main chordal piano sample. And those just interact so nicely, in my opinion. And we've done some panning and filtration on this piano sample, so it fits very well. It has quite a steep high pass filter on it with some of the bass removed, and it's heavy panned reverb, delay, overdrive. you know the drill. Anyways, I really got excited about sort of like adding that introductory theme back in as this second pattern develops. Let's take a listen to the drums now. So I added in an element like a little tom clicky thing to kind of fill in some of the spaces. And I also pull back the beat. I talk about how I do this a lot, and I'll show you in the first pattern and how the percussion exclusively transitions. Is that in like as a chord progression develops or a pattern changes, I'll pull back the sort of busyness of the percussion or the intensity of it, but I'll try to make it like a little bit more glitchy or syncopated or something to help develop that pattern, and not just say like, oh, we're going to get faster and louder, but we're going to like change things up and make it more intricate, but kind of like dial it back a little bit. It's like character development for the percussion section. Whoops, gotta mute these. So pattern 1 into pattern 2. A little bit more shuffle, a little bit more swing, and some accents on the offbeats with that tom. Okay, so let us take a look at how I changed things on the Digitone. Here's that sort of lead pad that I got. Again, just changes the progression to fit with the bass progression and develop that mood. And naturally, I just changed the arpeggio melody as well. So yeah, all of that context really comes from the Digitone within those pattern changes. So I'll play from pattern 1 to pattern 2. And that's really the whole thing, right? And what I like that you can do is you can change the pattern on the Digitone, but still have this second pattern playing on the Digitakt, because you can break away from the structure you've set on the Digitakt and then go back, because the Digitone is not sending signals to the Digitakt, it's the other way around. So that's kind of cool that you can like put the melodies from the first pattern to the rhythms of the second pattern if you want. And then yeah, I always just pull out percussive parts to accent and add kind of like little stops here and there. And peel everything away to end the piece. So yeah, I had a ton of fun composing this. It was the first piece that I put together with the Digitakt and the Digitone synced up, and I had a lot of fun with it, and I can't wait to explore this combination a little bit more. I definitely want to clean up this setup. I have that little wooden stand, that's nice, but I only have one of those, and it just puts it at an angle so you're not like hunched over your table, because that doesn't feel good and it's not good for your posture and health. So again, looking for a cool stand that will kind of prop both of them up so they're in my face. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to go over today, just kind of like a quick rundown of how I developed this song, how the patterns kind of presented themselves to me, and how to sync the Digitone and the Digitakt together. It's been a fun journey so far, so thanks for joining. Hey, really quickly before you go, I just want to remind everyone that I created a Patreon recently, and some of the perks include free downloads of my albums that I've released, free downloads to the songs that I post in my YouTube jams, and at the higher tiers, you can actually get one-on-one sort of consultations, electronic music lessons on any device that's sort of within my wheelhouse that I've featured on the channel, or just any sort of guidance or creative mentorship in the context of your electronic music. So definitely go check that out. The link is in my description if you're interested. So anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me as always. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you enjoy your day. Peace.